What's up? We're finally here at Pokemon Journeys episode 109 versus Raihan, the battle for the Masters 8. And well, with that title, you probably know what it's about. It's finally time. The last match and last chance to enter the Masters 8 is here, and that in itself probably spoils the result of the battle for you. So that morning, Ash arrives at Hammerlock Stadium and meets with Raihan. They talk for a little bit and then they enter the stadium. The announcer calls Ash's battle was impossible to predict, and he raced to the top in the blink of an eye. And of course he really has his fans, and Raihan, the Dragon Storm, enters, getting even more cheers. Both Leon and the announcer watch on. Oh yeah, Leon's here. He has this fun scene at the beginning where it's revealed that he slept outside the stadium to prevent being late, which is really funny considering what happened at the B battle. But Leon's ready for the battle and think it'll be fun to watch, and he's right. So rules according to the announcer are the Masters Tournament regulations, which is a 3-on-3, no time limit, and switching allowed. I suppose the one-on-one we saw for Leon versus Lance, Ryan and Flint were the last season's rules. Also, the one gimmick rule stays, which I think is quite good, and it's used to absolutely fantastic effect in this battle. Ash has a Mega Stone equipped, Ryan has a Dynamax band. So as standard with action episodes, I don't really want to be recapping the whole thing, but Dragonite and Flygon leave the match, and they seem pretty evenly matched until Ryan gets it to use Sandstorm. Raihan's whole thing is weather, and it throws off Dragonite pretty hard and takes a chance to just batter and batter Dragonite. So Ash has a plan to just fire off a Dracometer and hit Flygon and kind of like get an idea of where Flygon is. And when it makes a noise, he tries to get out with Hurricane, smack it with Dragon Claw, but Flygon still takes advantage of a Sandstorm, and when Ash tries to repeat the strategy, Flygon takes Dragonite out. Oh my god, Dragonite went down? The 100% win rate is dead, and honestly, this was kind of a long time coming, so I can't really be too upset. And honestly, who better to ruin that win rate than a Masters 8 member? Raihan's cool, so I'll take it. It's also kind of funny because Dragonite got sniped by a Togemus in this gym, so maybe it's just the curse for Dragonite. Raihan gets some high praise from the announcer and Leon as he takes the lead. And then comes out the star of this episode for me, which is honestly a huge surprise while watching because I didn't expect it to happen. Gengar's tricky movement is a great to dodge Flygon, but the second Flygon catches Gengar off guard, it uses a Sandstorm and hits a big crunch on Gengar, which really hurts him, and Ash screams out and kind of loses his cool. I seriously thought this was going to be it for Gengar, but it gets back up. Raihan questions Ash. Leon fascinates Ash. Ash wants to battle Leon. But why does he want to battle Leon? You need to want to surpass him, and if Ash doesn't have a backbone, then he won't beat Raihan. And that's when Ash bites back and says he can't lose because he wants to beat Leon. It's a great little moment from both of them, showing their resolve and their stakes in this match, their desire to win. And because of this desire, Ash apologizes to Lucario and pulls out his Dynamax band. Yep, that's right, Ash decides to Gigantamax Gengar instead, and it's a bloody treat. Ash uses Gengar's body in such a fascinating way yet again. It just sucks the sand right up and hits Flygon with a G-Max Terra and a Max Starfall, which gets him the KO. And following up is Raihan's Goodra, which makes use of a rain, taking advantage of Thunder, Surf and Hydro Pump to get some big hits in immediately. Ash respects Gengar's wishes and doesn't recall it. And as Raihan goes in with a Surf again, Gengar knocks it down with his tongue, Goodra fires off a Hydro Pump as Gengar uses a Max Starfall. Goodra is flat out knocked out. Gengar stands for a few seconds, but goes down too. I'm just so proud of Gengar, man. It doesn't feel like too long ago that it's being called a jobber and treated like a joke, but it's really come into its own and just absolutely shown off what it can do in such a wonderful way. Ash being fluid in what gimmick he could use was also used to wonderful effect here. It does make me wonder if he also had his Steelium Z and his Z-Ring on hand in case he wanted to use a Z-move, but god man, Gengar taking out 2 of any Masters 8 opponents is just flat out wonderful. The episode is worth watching for that alone. But we still have a battle left between Lucario and Duraludon. So wasting no time at all, Raihan makes use of Gigantamax after seeing Ash's fighting spirit. He has to go all out to crush Ash. And not being thrown off from double team or phased by Aura Sphere Lucario uses, Duraludon fires off a Max Steel Spike, which looks to do big damage, and then Raihan immediately follows up with a G-Max Depletion. But not losing their way, Lucario's Aura flares, and Ash and Lucario sync up. Lucario thinks of Ash's other Pokemon and his time with him and form a larger and larger Aura Sphere, which even gets Leon to go like, whoa. So Ash talks to Lucario, linking their auras, linking everything, and he calls it their giant Aura Sphere, which pierces through a Max Rockfall and knocks out Duraludon. Oh boy, I think what I'm about to say is probably going to be a little bit controversial, so I'm going to preface it that this is a really cool moment. But there are some things about this that bothered me. So right, first of all, I think some of the impact for the thinking of Ash's other Pokemon is lost after seeing the knocked out Gengar and Dragonite. They just kind of completely make up scenarios for Lucario, Pikachu, Surfash, and Dracovish. I'm just watching it and thinking that damn, it doesn't really feel organically earned. If you did this moment in Sun and Moon or Diamond and Pearl, I'd be 100% on board. I still get why they did it though, since Lucario is putting everyone's dreams into his attack, but the Journeys team doesn't feel as much as a team. Also, this is Lucario just again completely ignoring the effects of a Gigantamax attack. He did it against B and now he's doing it here. It just feels like the attack is having no effect on him. And I think that maybe it should have had like big effects, big damage until Ash synced up with him. All that being said, I still really enjoyed the moment for what it was. It was still a really good way to get Ash into Masters 8, and seeing Ash and Pikachu immediately run over to hug him goes moment of pure hype for Ash. Leon's applause of both competitors. It's just great to see. And Raihan takes a moment to get a selfie with Ash and tells Ash not to lose to anyone else. And this is when we finally get the confirmation of the Masters 8. At 8th, Ash. At 7th, Iris. 6th is Alan. 5th is Diantha. 4th is Lance. 3rd is Steven. 2nd is Cynthia. And 1st is, of course, Leon. So it's kind of crazy to know who's finally in it. At least my prediction for Flint lasted for a little bit. But yeah, this is pretty cool. They introduced all the champions other than Ash as a champion of whatever region. Oh, also, Lance is just a champion of Kanto and Johto now. I feel like this is probably a retcon, but it's also really funny to think that since the last time we saw Lance, he was in the Elite Four, he decided to just go and win the Kanto and Johto title, just have something more to flex. What a legend, I love him. I hope Ash battles him in the Masters 8, as it's my most anticipated match other than Ash vs Leon itself. But speaking of champion titles, let's talk about Ash quickly. Yeah, they didn't call him the Alola champion in this episode, but magazines have pointed out, so I assume that maybe in Universe Ash just didn't mention it when signing up. And Alola's League is relatively new, so I really hope he gets the title to come up during his actual Masters 8 matches. But this is also them just introducing, saying, oh, he's just risen to 8th, so maybe they're keeping it brief. I don't know, but the fact that magazines like Pash haven't forgotten it and probably had their articles vetted before publishing, I've got to hope it will come up later. And that's it really, I think this is a fantastic battle. I think I probably gushed about everything I want to already, and even pointed out I still like the one real issue I had with it. Raihan was used very well too. I do kind of wish we had more interaction with him throughout the series, but I always wanted to see Ash versus Raihan, and it was delivered completely fantastically. He wasn't just some chump in the way, and while his loss was very telegraphed, he gave Ash a real run for his money, immediately taking out what I feel is Ash's strongest Journeys Pokemon in Dragonite, battering Gengar enough that Ash needs to change his whole battle plan by Gigantamaxing Gengar. He makes Ash show some real conviction when it comes to wanting to battle Leon. Raihan is a fantastic character. And fine, let's talk about the Masters 8 roster. It's a little predictable, throwing in basically all the champions, but I'm still pretty happy with it. I mean, I got my wildcard choice with Flint for one episode, that feels good, but yeah, I can't really complain about it at all. In my old predictions video, I did put Older on it. I think once I remembered Iris was a champion, I was like thinking, damn, I should have said her. And I love that we're really giving her the respect that she deserves. You don't just make her a champion and leave her behind. Now with Alan, I'll say that he wasn't really my first choice of rival to return, but he's still one I'm very happy to see. He was an incredibly powerful force before caring about leagues at all. It's nice seeing that he's probably found a new path after essentially being groomed and used by Lysander. And he's got a new Keystone and Charizardite too, so good on him. My favourite thing about Ash, Iris and Alarm being in this is that they're all trainers of the same generation, up and coming stars in the world. My ideal battles for it is Ash vs Lance, of course, then Ash vs Steven and Ash vs Leon. So this was just an all-around fantastic episode for me, with Ash making great strides towards his goal. I wonder when the tournament will begin, and what he'll be doing in this series in the meantime. And next week we've got Project New, which is even more exciting for me than World Championship, so there's lots of good stuff going on in Pokemon Journeys as of late. We've still got Alola and Paul, who I ideally wish we got instead of Alan, episodes ahead of us. I hope you liked this episode as much as I did, and I hope you also enjoyed this review. Thank you for watching.